All right, everybody, welcome to the Stretch emergency episode, just important episode. I don't know exactly how to put it, but the fact is, since we've been doing the show in 2018, this is the furthest the Bears have gone. So we're like, hey, we want to talk more about the Bears, so that's what we're doing.
We need more time to talk about
Yeah, exactly. And like last show was obviously like full of excitement, full of adrenaline, still pumped up. I still can't believe it, but whatever. I'm trying to.
What am I watching now?
Yeah, you're watching highlights.
Well, and the last episode was just about burying the Packers.
Yeah.
We didn't know who the Bears were playing in the divisional round, so we have had some things change. It has been hard for me to look forward.
Yeah.
You know, like I keep watching the highlights and the stuff from the Packers game, but it's like the Ben Johnson post-game speech and the Caleb Williams post-game speech where it's like, hey, like we're not done here. We're on to the next game. I need to get my own mind frame in that same way of thinking.
And the good thing about that is Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams have been thinking ahead, and they're not idiots like us that are just thinking about digging the ditch and burying the fucking Packers.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, and that's why I'm happy we did this, because this has gave me a good reason to kind of not live in the past and suppress that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of look forward,
Right,
and see what we have on the table for us on Sunday, because it's going to be quite the challenge. The Rams are fucking really good.
they're very good.
Just pulling up stats and watching stuff and reading stuff. They've hung 34-plus in 9 of their last 12 games.
Yeah.
We don't have a great defense. That's going to be a problem. So I think right out of the gate, is there anyone here that thinks that this is not going to be a Big 12 track meet? And I guess there is one big argument for it not being so.
Well,
so
okay, what do you consider a Big 12 track meet?
Big 12 track meet is
Because the score last week was kind of Big 12 track meety, but it didn't feel like that.
No, you're
game.
talking like the 49er game.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yes, I do not think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be much more of a slog than the 49ers.
Okay, so you're expecting like a game that ends in the 20s for both teams, so to speak?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously the weather plays a big part
It's
of
going
it.
to be cold.
That's what I figured would be your first reasoning for that.
And is that a meathead take? Because I know the Bear weather thing is like, we joke about it a lot, but at the same time, it's not a joke right now. I do think that the weather plays a big factor. Matt Stafford historically is not good in cold weather. So I know it's a meathead thing to say in that it's not even true. It doesn't reflect the Bears' record in cold games even, but this week I do think it's real and that it does matter.
So what do you say to this? I was texting people who, have been involved with various teams and whatnot. And I was talking to someone who was involved with the West Coast team. And they said the thing you forget about these games is that it's 70 degrees in the sidelines because of these heaters.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so it's not nearly as bad as people make it out to be. He said the worst thing that could happen is when there's a timeout and the team gets stuck on the field for too long. Which I was like, that's kind of an interesting point.
Say that to Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Like that game, that's the Rams game I think that sticks out in all of our minds, where they were a really good team that year. They came into Soldier. It was polar vortex or whatever it was. It looked miserable out there.
I was at that game, yeah.
Granted, the Bears had a good defense. But
Yeah.
But like the look in his eyes was just like, this is miserable.
But I think that's a mixture of coldness and Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack.
For sure.
That's a difference.
To Dave's point, when the temperature is 40 degrees or lower, Matt Stafford has a record of 1-9 and 2-8 against the spread. Now,
spread don't matter though.
I don't care about.
Throw the spread out.
Yeah.
Spread doesn't matter. He was on the Lions for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of this equation too, that he was just on bad teams. So that's over the course of his entire career. I don't think that, that is the stat that's out there, but I don't think that's necessarily an indication that he's going to be like horrible. He does have a 54.6% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. So it's not like he's been personally great in those games either.
And I don't think our defense has left us any reason, respectfully, to think that they're going to go out there and ball out.
You think? Yeah. So I do think the weather does matter. And we saw the game. I don't know if you guys watched the Rams game last weekend.
I was at the tailgate.
Yeah.
Okay. The Panthers put up a lot of points on them. Puka Nacua had some terrible drops. That was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I do think it's going to be a factor. I think it's, it's not supposed to be any precipitation, but I think the weather matters. I think it matters when you're catching the ball and throwing the ball, and it's just like the Bears are more acclimated. Like, you guys have played football. Anybody who's listening to this has played football. When you're hitting and stuff and you're just throwing a cold ball, like, it hurts, it stings. And if you're more used to that, and if you did it last week, you might have a slight edge in the game when it comes to that.
Yeah. I did find that interesting, though, that point about the heat.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that perspective.
And here's the other thing. Like, I'll use this as I went for a jog the other night with one of my dogs, and within 5 minutes of running around, it doesn't really matter what temperature your body acclimates, not just like to the physical temperature, your internal temperature. You start sweating and it doesn't feel cold no matter how cold it is.
For
anymore,
sure.
So, like, I know I just kind of contradicted myself right there, but at the same time, it's gonna matter. Like, we all know that, you know, and I think that there's probably I don't know the word I want to. There's probably some like subliminal, like the Rams are hearing about the cold weather all week right now. So they're thinking in the back of the head, like, oh, man, is it going to be that bad? And the Bears know what they're expecting. So I think that, that it's something.
The Bears have practiced outside all week and really most of the season, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I saw Kyle Long tweet a little bit ago that it's like 72 degrees and they keep pumping down the AC in the Rams practice facility, but I don't think that's going to simulate much.
I mean, LA just come on.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to simulate.
That's bad for the environment.
Yeah. So let's run some numbers here, because I pulled some stuff, and if it is one of those track meets, so to speak, because that's the big matchup where it's like the Bears offense versus the Rams defense.
Yeah.
Like, how do we stack up there? So Rams are 19th against the pass, 216 per game. Bears are 22nd at 218. So pretty close. Mm-hmm. Really close. Against the run.
Excuse me, that's the Bears passing offense against the Rams passing defense?
No. That's the Rams defense.
Rams defense and Bears pass offense.
No. That's both of our.
Okay.
The Bears are a moot point. I'm just giving you a measuring stick.
Okay.
That's all the Bears status for, is just to measure it up. Against the run, the Rams are 12th. They're giving up 110 a game. This is where the Bears are way behind. The Bears are 27th, giving up 134 a game. Mm-hmm. So middle of the pack against the run. Points allowed, Rams are allowing 20.4 points. That's 10th in the NFL. Bears are at 24.4. That's 23rd. So top 10 defense, so to speak, as far as as far as points allowed goes.
Yeah.
Turnovers, Bears are number 1 with 33. We know that. The Rams are 5th with 26. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's pretty good. Sacks, the Rams are 7th in the NFL. They have 47. Stack it up against the Bears. The Bears are 22nd with 35. Byron Young, he was 8th in sacks this year. He had 12. So that's just stacking up their offensive line versus our defensive front.
Yeah, context matters with this too, because obviously that's over the course of the full season. If you look at the Rams' points allowed at the beginning of the year, a lot better. They only gave up 9 to the Texans opening week. 23 to the 49ers in October. When you go to November, starting like November 30th, they gave up 28, or they gave up 31 to the Panthers in a loss. Played the Cardinals, 17. 34 against the Lions, 38 against the Seahawks, 24 against the Atlanta team with a backup quarterback. Then they got to play the Cardinals again. They gave up 20. And then 31 last week. So it's not like their defense has been like clicking on all cylinders.
No, it's definitely fell off a little bit.
Yeah,
you're right, and that's a good point. Absolutely. But just kind of some numbers for thought there, because their front is pretty good.
Now, I saw that Ben Johnson said that over the last handful of weeks, the Bears have kind of tapered off. I don't know the exact verb he used for it, but they kind of tapered off with their run game. This Sunday, they need to lean on the run game, I think, especially if we get some lake effect snow that's unexpected or something. They need to lean on those big boys up front. And obviously, Ozzy's out for a long time, not just this week, but they need to lean on that interior offensive line, and then Darnell Wright on the right side. And I think that you kind of like the way to beat the Bears this year, we saw it against the Ravens. chew up as much clock as you can, keep Caleb off the field. Just do not give them the opportunity to make one of their crazy comebacks, I think that the Bears need to take that and keep the Rams defense or the Rams offense off the field, Stafford off the field, to have an actual sincere chance at this. And you do that by leaning on your big boys and DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai as much as possible.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think running the ball is going to be very important. And that's to the strength of Theo Benedict. I have not three keys, so to speak, but three things that I think are going to be pretty big, aside from the obvious, how are we going to cover Puka and Devontae Adams? Like, those are like pretty major points that everyone is wondering. And I'd say one of them is Theo, because while he did have time, it's a lot different to be on the national stage and in the playoffs and facing a team like the Rams. So it is to his advantage that he does like to run block. And it is nice that the Bears obviously have options that could put him out there. They could help him with Smythe, help him with Cole Kmet. But regardless, I do expect the Bears to run the ball a little bit more.
I think Caleb had 48 passes last week. Obviously, they were behind a lot of the game, so he was forced to pass a lot. But if he's passing 48 times again this week, then I think the Bears are in a lot of trouble. Yeah. I'd like to see it like 32 times, at most probably.
I guess I'll just give you my two other interests, two keys, two interests, whatever you want to call them. They're a big tight end team.
Yeah,
that kind of worries me.
How the Bears done against tight ends this year?
They like to use their tight end. Well, we're down T.J. Edwards. Obviously, Tremaine is back, but they like to use these tight ends because obviously, when you have to put so much focus on the two wide receivers, some guys are going to slip through the cracks, and if we're running, and DeMarco Jackson has done a great job filling in, and you could fill in with a linebacker and you could hide those guys a little better than you can hide a left tackle, so to speak. But I don't know. That's something that I'm very interested to see how it plays out. But that's a concern. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, Parkinson had the big touchdown in the game last week. It is a concern. That's been a concern all year. The Bears and we said it where at the beginning of the year when we were really complaining and harping on this team, it was like we just don't have any dudes. Like we don't have any quick twitch guys, and that's especially true in the middle of the field. So I don't know what you do with those two, especially when you got the two outside threats. The Rams are a problem. It's like everybody you're going to play the rest of the way is really good. Mm-hmm. So I do think they need to shorten the game. I do think the Bears, just watching that game,
the Bears have to use the outlook that people have used on the Bears.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And I do think that just watching that Panthers game against the Rams last week, like they were able to throw the ball.
They were moving the ball pretty easily.
Yeah, and it's like Bryce Young, like his numbers didn't look great, but like Coker went for 134, Tet went for 81. Like they were able to do some things on the outside. So it's like, it's crazy to say, but maybe it's like a little bit of looking in the mirror, like you're saying. It could end up being this Big 12 kind of game where you're going to need 35 points to potentially win this game.
Yeah, I think it will. And the only really good argument I've heard against it is that the weather, which we'll see how much that factors in. But, I think the Bears' offense is certainly equipped to do that. How they can they do it over 4 quarters again like they did in San Francisco? We'll see.
Yeah,
but they've struggled to play 4 quarters offensively at that level.
I don't think they've done it one time all year.
Yeah,
and Ben Johnson had a quote like that too, where it's like, we have not put together a full game the whole year. Like, we can't do that against this team. We have to start fast, and it does feel like they'll often, like we saw it against the Packers last week, scripted right down the field, stall at the red zone.
Yep.
How many times has that happened this year where it's like
too many?
You're moving the ball well, but then you get to the red area and it's like, kick a field goal or go for it on 4th, and it's just like and don't get it, some kind of stupid mistake where in the critical area. So this is where you gotta have. I don't want to say the Bears have to play a perfect game to win this, but it's like you cannot beat yourselves with the turnovers, the miscommunication, the pre-snap penalties. It's all those types of things that have been like an Achilles heel for them. you can't go from 4th and 3 to 4th and 8.
I'll disagree with that a little bit. They only had one penalty for 5 yards last week. So from
they
the
are
first half to the second half, it's been a great improvement.
They are still the most penalized team in the league.
Yeah, but
that's an anomaly
they've trended in the right direction to the point where I don't even really think about the pre-snap penalties nearly as much anymore. Even though obviously you can't revert back to old ways like the first half prior to the bye, but I think that is my number one key to the game. It has to be the first. I think they've had maybe one or two more against the Browns probably, but against a legit quality team, they need to have a complete game for the first time this year. And if they do, is there a team in the NFL that they can't beat? I don't think so. But
I can't. Yeah, I'm only thinking about the Rams.
Of course.
The Seahawks. The Seahawks are very.
But
scary.
As far as our offense,
still,
we can hang with anyone, definitely. But
Yeah.
the real problem here is the defense. The defense,
of
is
course, but
supremely deficient. Supremely
it's
deficient.
Yeah,
supremely
and
deficient.
you know what? This is like a conversation for another time. But I saw a clip of Big T talking shit about the Bears on Mac.
I saw that too. Yeah,
about this, they're gonna revert back, and they're due for a correction next year. Like they can't keep this up. Like no shit. Like we are in year one of a building project. I would assume that there would be a lot of attention paid to the defense this offseason and trying to get things better and get things right. So it's like I hate this narrative that the Bears have just lucked their way into this divisional round. Like they've made plays when it mattered, and they've improved steadily throughout the course of the year.
of course.
Yeah, and here's my third thing is Coleman Shelton's their starting center. Obviously, we know him very well.
Yeah.
Just from a storyline, like psychological perspective, I'd like to. I'm very interested in the Dexter and Billings matchup versus him. You know,
Yeah.
There's something. Isn't there something too when you know a guy where you feel
I didn't realize it was Coleman Shelton.
Yeah.
Coleman Shelton was fucking terrible.
he was bad, but apparently, like, listen, they gave him a 2-year, $12 million deal. That's not.
It's not nothing.
That's not nothing. That's $6 million a year.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
like he was there before. They believe in him.
Yeah.
And they still do. He had a pretty solid year from what I understand.
Yep.
But you get what I'm saying, where there's like a psychological thing where you know someone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
like
what-
you've been up against them every day.
Exactly.
That makes me feel a little better about the Bears, just knowing that, to your exact point, knowing
Yeah.
that he is the guy snapping the ball to Matt Stafford, because that guy is fucking dog shit.
That's one thing that needs to be fixed too. Dahlman snaps.
Snaps.
Last game where
Dude, if it weren't for him false starting, the one false
Yeah.
start, that we're not here right now.
yeah, probably.
And like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
That was fourth down. It was
the
false
4th and
start. He snapped it over his head, but it didn't count. And then the next play was the 4th and 8.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, but they seem to really like him. Like not to be like a nefarious, like
He
source guy,
stinks.
but talking to someone, they're like, no, like he's legit.
There is a thing where it's just like, did you guys listen to Brady on Spittin' Chicklets by chance?
Just saw clips.
Okay, so he had a clip talking about like when you're deciding where to sign as a free agent, is it really worth it to? And I'm making up numbers where it's like one team's going to give you $7 million, the other team's going to give you $6 million, and so you're talking about after taxes like an extra $500,000. Is it worth it just to go for the highest price tag, or are you going to go somewhere where you're a good fit? Shelton might just be a better fit there.
Sure. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
He was not a good fit here.
No, exactly, and
the
that's
coaching staff he had here was horrible.
yeah, horrible coaching staff.
Yeah.
Didn't have exactly Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson to play next to
Correct.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't even have fucking Nate Davis because he never played.
Yep.
Kevin Jenkins missed a lot
yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
So he was playing next to backups.
He's on an island.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of what this person was telling me. Like they're like, this person told me they're like, I like Shelton more than Drew Dahlman. I'm like, well, that's a little nuts.
That's fucking crazy.
But they were
To your point, the Rams are getting their guard back this week. That's been out the last like 5-6 weeks or something. I'm blanking on his name. So,
yeah. So I think
Dotson.
yeah.
I think just from a, like I said, a storyline, a psychological standpoint, like how do those boys feel going against a guy that they know and they saw, had a rough year in the film room every Monday, last year. So that's kind of 3 points I kind of had there. And then my last one is I actually, the more I kind of deep dived here, I feel better about the Bears. Like, I truly feel good about the Bears going into this game. I think they can win this game.
I do too.
McVay is just the X factor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what that guy can, absolutely, how he can undress a defense through a scheme is just entirely impressive. But at the same time, I think Ben Johnson, obviously you could hear him in the media, he really respects McVay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really views this as a fucking opportunity to kind of really, really get him.
Cement himself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it is the combo. Like, yes, they have McVay, but they have Puka and Devontae Adams. I also, Notre Dame guy, I love Kyron Williams. He's one of my favorite Notre Dame running backs of all time.
Should be mentioned.
Yeah, he's a really, really, really good running back. And really, Blake Corum's been pretty good for them this year too in a secondary role. So like they got the weapons. So not only they have like the mastermind, they got the guy and the trigger man with Stafford, but they got dogs. They got playmakers everywhere. They're a very, very, very
We
good
got
offense.
dogs too.
No, I know, but it's just like we don't really have them.
And I don't think he will. I don't think Ben will, but I hope he doesn't fall into that trap of being like, I'm going against the guy.
I got to outsmart this guy.
Yes, exactly. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And listen, Ben Johnson knows more about football than I forgot. Like, or the quote.
We got you.
Yeah. I'll ever remember.
He's forgotten more than you know.
Yeah, whatever.
I knew I said that wrong.
Yeah.
So credit to me.
Credit
We
to
knew
you.
what you
Hey,
were
Ed,
getting at.
credit to you.
Exactly.
No one's better than you.
But that's
accountability.
that's the hope. I hope that doesn't.
That was my exact
factor.
third point that I wanted to make was last week. And
What were your first 2 points?
He took 2 of them. Obviously the weather was point 1.
Yeah.
The both coaching and quarterback matchup for 2. But for number 3, it started with the first play of the game last week. They did the reverse, or the fake reverse, I think it was, on the kickoff. And then a couple of times in the red zone where we're like, what the fuck kind of play call is that? The handoff. Don't get too cute. Don't overthink it. Sometimes simple is the smartest play,
Yeah, but that does cut both ways. And I specifically think about that 2-point conversion where they lined up with 6 linemen, 3 tight ends, and a back. And then they motioned out of that, and so you got the personnel on their defense that you wanted, which was their heavy. So by doing that, you got Loveland on a linebacker, and it's like
you can't stop that. Did you see that breakdown? It was awesome. The Packers on that play had 1 defensive back on the entire field.
Yeah, it was McKinney.
Yeah, and you can't expect linebacker to cover even Cole Kmet, let alone Colson Loveland. So I understand that, but sometimes like if you're 4th and 1, I've said, walk up to the line and say, hey, here it comes. We're running it right down your throats, try and stop us, and that's still the right play.
On a different note, though, too, I get what you're saying, and
don't overthink it.
For sure, I get it, and I think a lot of Bears fans have not grown. They're not. No one's frustrated at all. Everyone's fucking beyond happy, but there is a sentiment of saying like, hey, we got to run the ball more.
Yeah.
When the Bears run the ball more, good things happen. Look at that Philly game.
Yeah.
Ran it down their throat. That was our probably most dominant start to finish game all year.
And the defense looked great.
Yeah, against a good team. Here's the thing. When our defense plays the way we did, the way it has, you don't have that luxury. They scored in their first 3 drives. So if bad drives happen from an offensive standpoint, the Bears missed their first couple drives. Like, the run game is just going to have to fucking sacrifice. They're going to pass the ball more.
I understand that. Yeah, of course.
So it's kind of hard to actually go through with that game plan when the defense is as not great as it is. So that's another.
We're all armchair head coaches to some extent or the other, but that doesn't mean we're wrong all the time. It's not that Ben Johnson's completely impervious to being making an incorrect play call or a bad play call, because he's not. He's made a few bad play calls this year. You just got I don't want the Bears to lose because they fumbled a double reverse flea flicker Statue of Liberty play to DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
If it'd be different if it's 4th and 1 and they get stuffed to me. That would be more palatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Regardless, whatever he decides to do, you got to be.
You got to follow. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're following his lead for sure.
Are you guys buying into the Stafford finger thing at all?
Haven't even really thought about it, but I will say in the limited time I spent watching that game, he did look like he wasn't putting as much juice on the ball as he typically does.
So he says it's fine. He's like, it feels great. He's like, it got bent way back. It's his index finger. Obviously very important for a quarterback. I do think maybe the cold impacts that as well. But he went, after that play, he went 2 for 10. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sure it's been rehabbed and all this shit this week, and they're taking extra special care of it. But, like, that is something to,
Yeah, he's sleeping in a fucking chamber somewhere.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Ready to go.
I'm sure all these guys.
Oh, for sure.
I would be protecting Caleb Williams with bubble wrap right now if I were Ben Johnson.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, it's crazy that we're in the divisional round. Like I said, this is the furthest we've gone since we've started doing the podcast. So
furthest we've gone since Barstool.
Yeah, exactly.
What you talking? Yeah.
Since
13 years ago. Yeah.
Like since Dan's been here, since we followed shortly after Dan. So exactly. That's the first. That's crazy to think about. That's the
insane.
First Bears playoff win since Dan and all of us have been here.
That's insane. It's
nuts.
Yeah.
It's really nuts.
I'm excited. I'm ready for it. I think the Bears are going to win. And I think they're going to win. I don't think it's going to be one of these magical wins that like a comeback, like how in the fuck did they do that type win. I think it's going to be they're just going to win the football game.
Yeah. Just be in it. You know, if you're in it in the fourth quarter, I like our guys. And that's kind of, and they deserve to have that. Like they've earned that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I at this point, how do you fucking doubt this?
You can't believe, you got to believe in them.
Yeah.
And I truly do, regardless of what happens.
I also think
at half,
the defense is due for a turnover. You know, they haven't had one. I don't think they got one against the Lions. And then
I think they did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. But
because we're like, oh, here it goes. It's going to happen again. And that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how the script ends.
But like the luck that went against them in that Packers game, the Gervon Dexter, you know, there was
diving through the end zone on the touchdown.
Christian Watson, that one they land on instead of it being a touchback or a Bears recovery. Like there were so many like bad little bounces that went. The Jacobs kickoff return.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like so many things where the ball historically this year has bounced the Bears' way, didn't. And it's like it'd be nice if we saved all those good luck moments for this game.
Yeah, we need those bounces for sure.
Yeah.
A couple other talking points here. Corneliuson's doing the anthem.
Love that.
Like that a lot.
I love it.
We have to love that.
You know that an opposing team could like I'm sure they've all seen it like on Twitter or whatever before, but like that's got to be pretty intimidating.
I doubt that many people think of who they are.
Right.
You got a lot of like Stafford's from Texas. Like I don't think that there's a lot of Chicago Blackhawks ice hockey fans.
Right.
On the LA Rams. So like it means something here in this city. I bet you a lot of the Bears don't even really know the Jim Cornelison.
He did it for the first game of the year this year.
But like, it's a different vibe.
For sure.
And I will say, whenever he does it other places, it's not the same because they don't cheer throughout the whole thing where it's this deafening roar.
I almost wish they wouldn't have announced it and that he just did it.
Just came out.
Chicago fans would have known exactly how to follow suit.
Like a pro wrestler. He
exactly
just shows up and doing the anthem.
And then I would have liked to see the cameras just rolling across the Rams sideline just to like see what their faces look like as the entire – because you're supposed to be silent for that.
How do you guys feel about it being the last game on Sunday? Last playoff game of the week. I kind of like –
I kind of got used to the Saturday Bears, I'll be honest with you. Like, that was fucking sick. Granted, they were two of the sickest games of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
But granted, but still, there was a vibe between, that the city kind of really vibed with, I should say.
I would agree.
But
and you're just waiting around all weekend, which, like, it was hard enough to wait for Saturday night.
Yeah.
Having to watch 3 other games and then be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
So I kind of like, my point is I wish it was earlier.
I get
it over.
I wish it was
game.
on Saturday.
There's something about the lights, though. Soldier Field did look very pretty.
Oh, yeah, with the snow cascading down. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't want to – if I had my way, we'd be playing.
What are you going to do to
Saturday.
kill that time? I rage cleaned. My apartment's never been cleaner.
You want to come rage clean my place?
I would help out. Yeah. I'm a good cleaner.
Yeah,
I take pride in my
You are. You're very good at that.
Man.
Airbnb Dave. I've seen it in action.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I think they had to do it. I mean, nobody's given fucking this league better games than the Bears.
Well, the Bears-Packers was the most streamed game in the history of streaming.
Yeah.
Like
31 million.
Yeah, 31 million streams for that
Yeah.
game. That's fucking insane.
3x New York City
Yeah.
almost.
And I don't know about this exactly, but I was thinking about it where, if you're local, that game was on Fox 32. So how many of the people at home and on bars were not on Amazon Prime,
Right.
like locally? I bet you locally, like that, the 31 million probably doesn't even include that many in Chicago.
Totally, yeah. Because
Millions extra, yeah.
I'm watching Fox 32. I was at the game, but if I'm I'm watching
yeah.
Fox 32.
It was Fox 32 here at our office
for sure,
So
for sure,
yeah,
no doubt about it.
One thing I'd like to ask you guys quickly is, one, have you noticed the rest of the league kind of is starting to hate the Bears, like fan bases? They're no longer like I hate using this word and comparing the two, but they're no longer the lover. I think there's an actual disdain for the Bears.
I think
league-wide.
Ben Johnson seems to have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and Matt LaFleur and Sean McVay are like best friends.
Yeah.
So did you guys see that clip of McVay?
No, what did he say?
He's like, "Are you going to call Matt LaFleur? He's played him 3 times," and he's like, "Yeah." It was like, "Yeah, what do you think?" Like, and then he's like, "Well, we're going to do our own work. We're going to prepare," but he's like, "I'll probably talk to him."
Yeah,
that was the vibe.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Kyle Long joking around. It's like they should ask the fucking Packers to practice there.
Yeah,
they would give them the facilities for free.
Yeah.
Rock Sox Dave saw that tweet and instantly asked Grok if that was allowed by the league, and it said no. That would that's illegal.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even do that if they wanted, which
That's interesting.
if they want to, I'd be like, go for it. Get that Packers stink all over you.
Yeah, I mean,
Make him fly across the country
Yeah,
on
practice.
Saturday.
Yeah, but it's not like
fucking Motel 6 in Green Bay.
yeah, but it's not like they won't fucking Waukesha would not let them practice.
Yeah,
they could
true.
find a
They could
spot.
Sure,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Whitewater would let them in.
Yeah.
Whitewater's got a
Whatever.
great D3 stadium.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of people really, we all know they hate Ben Johnson. I think a lot of it still has to do with the fingernails, or Caleb Williams rather. But they really don't like Ben Johnson, and I love.
Well, yeah, but they don't like Ben Johnson for swearing, which is a fucking
That's lame. Yeah.
dumb reason
Yeah.
to not like him. Whatever. I don't care about that. If you don't like him because of the handshake, whatever. I guess I can understand that. I don't care about it. Like, I like it. It's a rivalry.
LaFleur did it to him when
Yeah.
LaFleur won.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, and like, I love hate. Hate's like my favorite thing. This has been a one-sided / dormant rivalry for the better part of 30 years. And I want it ratcheted up. I love, I don't really have a lot of hate in my life right now.
You need something. Nate.
Right? You
Yeah.
know, it's like the Red Wings ran away to the Eastern Conference. The Cardinals are kind of down, but like Bears Packers, it's the oldest rivalry. It fucking means something.
What it should be.
It's what it should be. So like when Ben Johnson came out with his introductory press conference, like talking shit and calling out names, like I love that. But now it's like proof is in the pudding. He's won 2 out of 3. He's won the most important 2. Like that matters to me, and I love that, and I want more of that. So if everybody hates us, I don't fucking care.
If roles were reversed, wouldn't you want that too? If I were a Packers fan in some weird hypothetical fucked up world, I'd embrace that. I'd be like, bring
but
fuck on.
they've been so used to just hitting the bag and not letting the bag hit back like that.
Yeah.
I think they got really used to having this a rivalry, but still just being able to.
We said it
mow 'em
every
down.
time we've gone up there. They've been like,
Yeah.
nice
shucks.
little Bears fans.
And we've had, there's Viking. Like I know some Vikings fans. There's Lions fans here. Like the rest of the division was rooting for the Bears in that game. Like we all they've been been the big brother to everyone in that division. So the fact that the Bears got them. Now, if the Bears continue on this way, then I'm sure the Bears will be the most hated, and I love that too. But I saw a clip, I think it was from ESPN First Take, where like Ryan Clark specifically was offended by how Ben Johnson did the handshake. And it's like, well, that tells me everything I need to know. I am on board with Ben Johnson talking shit. And also in that moment, what do you want him to do? Sitting there, if I'm Matt LaFleur, I want that interaction over as quick as possible too. And then let Ben Johnson go and celebrate with his team. Yeah. So that I had no problem with it. I loved every second of it. And he is kind of like a fucking asshole.
He's a cunt.
Yeah, but he's our cunt.
It's a rivalry
Yes.
game. That's
Yeah.
listen, like you don't want. I mean, listen. If he's a dickhead to everyone, then it'd be like, this is a little odd. But still, it's a rivalry game. Who the fuck?
And
cares?
how many genuine rivalries exist in pro sports now? Like Red Sox Yankees.
It's
now,
kind of dead.
It's kind of dead.
With the portal, Ohio State, Michigan's not going to be the same.
That will always.
It'll always be.
I said specifically pro sports. Like you get a few. Like in my lifetime, there's been like Blackhawks, Canucks, Blackhawks, Ducks. Like even the LA one wasn't like super fierce. It's like Cubs, Brewers, but not like there's no venom there the way that there is like when Red Sox and Yankees was rolling in like what 03 and 04
like
was
Don Zimmer, Pedro,
the peak of that.
That was big.
Like that was fucking awesome. But in the NFL, like I know the Eagles and the Cowboys, like the fans hate each other. Like there's very
but they don't
rarely
live
is it
amongst each other either.
But it's very rarely like felt by the players in pro sports. It feels like the players and the staffs, like everybody's like fuck that team up north, and it's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best, and for the first time in a long time, like I love hate just like you guys do.
Hold on, I got to run, but I will
Yeah.
say, go Bears. I feel good. I think the Bears are going to win this game. I truly do feel good about
Love it.
You guys can keep going if you want.
No,
I just got to shoot.
I got
We'll wrap
one
it
last
up.
thing to say. I love hate just like you, like I just said, but the hate, like I'm always hated just because I'm awful. Like it feels good to be hated because I'm rooting for someone good for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and because you like heavily insult the other fan base too. I would say that's probably a factor why.
Yeah.
Well,
You're a foul boy.
that's what they get for being fucking. And it.
All right.
That's it. We'll wrap it
I don't
up.
mean to- I got
Fuck
to do
the
a
Packers.
Yeah, you're
go
good.
Bears.
Pizza Hut
Bears.
ad.
Bears 31. Rams 27.
Love it. Let's go.